Good morning, student. Today we will learn about that regeneration process. In what happened in last class, we already talked about that fission process, then spore formation, then fragmentation, then budding, and today we will discuss about what? Today we will discuss about that planaria, the reproduction of planaria, that is regeneration process. So first thing is that what is regeneration process? The regeneration process is that, like if you think about the planaria, the small planaria, it's like that's small planaria is there. If in case as it is a part of asexual reproduction, so what happened, and it has that capacity to develop a new individual from each and every segment, right? So if you think that is a head of that planaria, so this can able to regenerate a new, then that can able to regenerate a complete individual. If you cut from that portion, suppose if you cut from that portion, so that portion is also have the ability to create a complete new individual, a complete new planaria. Okay, so that process, and see how it is going to happen. That regeneration, re means repeated times, once again means repeat, means re. So and generation means to grow. Generation means to grow or to create, right? So that is altogether a regeneration of planaria. So next, what happened? The regeneration, it has that how that planaria is going to create that new cells of different types, right? So it has what? It has the specialized cell structure. With the help of that specialized cell structure, that small portion of planaria, if it is the small portion of planaria can able to grow the full length planaria, right? So that is the special cell structure. And what is the next? The regeneration follows the organized sequence. That is what that special cell going through organized. It is going through what? It's organized section of cell division. DIVI. Cell division. And that is known as what? And that is known as development. That is known as development. So what is the development? The development is the process through which the specialized cell structure can organize through section of cell division, the sequential section of cell division, organized sequential section of cell division, and that is known as development. Okay, so that is a very important thing in regeneration. Now come to that next, that is what? That is the vegetative reproduction. So vegetative reproduction, whenever the terms is coming, the vegetative reproduction, so another thing is coming, the vegetative. So that is what is vegetative propagation. So vegetative, not reproduction, that is asexual mode of reproduction, and that is vegetative propagation, right? Yes. So that is vegetative propagation. Within that, when the vegetative the word is coming, so it means what? That vegetative portion or vegetative part is what? In case of plant, what are those? Those are roots, stem, and leaves, right? If you're going through and the vegetative propagation, what are the different mode of vegetative reproduction? So there are also two type of vegetative reproduction. One is what? One is that natural and one is that artificial. Right? One is that natural and one is that artificial. If now come to that then that natural. Natural is what? First, if you think about the roots, and then so for roots, here I have potato. Okay, so what happened? In the potato, that small bud-like projections are coming out. That comes under the vegetative propagation. So what happened if you cut that portion and you can keep the suitable environment, keep it in a soil and pour that water. So what happened? Those buds is going to generate a new plant body. Okay, so that is the example of root. Potato genus are the example. Now come to that stems. So if for that stems, if you think about the stems, so there is a small grass. Okay, so a small grass, what happened? Are they going to reproduce through any kind of, or how they are growing in number? So what happened if you think that is a runner, and what happened, that is basically that is a stem, and from that small root like projections are coming out, right? And whenever it is going to touch the soil and get proper environment, so it will that small root like structures are coming out from the stem. So that will another example of that. And if small hibiscus twig is there, the small hibiscus branch, if you put it in the soil, yeah, so what happened? They are going to create a new individual, right? So that is known as what? That is reproduction through stem. So from stem rose, then come to that leaves. So leaves is what? That bryophyllum. Bryophyllum. If you notice how that is, that bryophyllum, if you think that bryophyllum leaves are there, so bryophyllum leaf, within that the small plantlets are coming out at the margin of the leaf, right? That is an example of the vegetative propagation with the help of leaf, and example is bryophyllum. Okay, so now come to the artificial. So in artificial, what happened? In artificial, there are several types of several different types of propagation. That in case of grafting, one is grafting, one is layering, three is tissue culture. So grafting is what? Grafting is cutting a mature branch of a plant. Cutting a mature branch of a leaf. Cutting a mature branch of a tree, okay, or from a plant, and that are creating or acting as a new individual in case of mango. Okay, layering. And then layering is what? Layering is that if the two plants, if two different plants, and you can join them and they are acting as a new individual, they are known as layering. And what is tissue culture now? Tissue culture is a process through which the artificial media is there, and within the control condition, lab environment, what happened? In the lab environment, that plants, the different parts of plant, not only the roots, leaves or stems, or tissue. So what happened? with the help of this artificial medium along with growth regulators. Growth regulators means what? Growth regulators means plant hormone. Plant hormone, along with that, in the lab environment, in a controlled condition, the new plants is going to germinate with the help of root, leaves or stem or any other meristematic tissue or meristematic cell. That is known as tissue culture. So, so now what are the advantages of vegetative propagation? If you notice then some plants, they already use vegetative propagation, right? If you think some plant they lost their seed producing capacity. So what is that? Because of the vegetative propagation or that maximum use of vegetative propagation, they lost the ability or the capacity to create the seed, right? So that banana, rose, etc. So in case of banana, what happened? Seedless fruits will be created, okay, or we can produce the seedless fruits. As it is a vegetative propagation, no mixing of any outer gene from the single parent, right? And whatever the single parent DNA, single parent gene is there, that is completely the same set of gene is going to going to transfer to the next progeny, right? So what happened? Next progeny, the same genes means that the quality of the fruit will be same one, okay. And another thing, first thing is that the seedless fruit we can create. The thing is that the gene as per the progeny is carrying the same genes, mean quality of fruit will be the same. Another thing is there, if you put a plant, if you put a seed in the soil, it will take more time. It will take more time to germinate, right? And when and whenever it will be mature, and then the fruit will come, right? So what happened? It is taking more time. It is more time taking. And in case of vegetative propagation, what happened? We already explained about the grafting, the layering. So that plants are takes less time to grow and produce fruits, right? So one thing is that, and so those are the advantages of vegetative propagation, right? And then next, so what are the different types of asexual mode of reproduction? In summary form, that asexual reproduction, right? Asexual reproduction. So what are the, one is fission, second is fragmentation, third is budding, fourth is spore formation, fifth is regeneration, then sixth stage, that one is vegetative reproduction, vegetative propagation. Then fission, fragmentation, budding, spore formation, regeneration, vegetative propagation. And within that, fissions are of two types, that is multiple fission, binary fission. Within the binary fission, amoeba, and one is that is multiple fission. Example is Plasmodium, binary fission, amoeba, that is transverse section, Desmania, that is longitudinal section, fragmentation, that is Spirogyra. Budding is what? Budding is Hydra. Spore formation, Rhizopus. The regeneration, Planaria. And sometimes it's also fine Hydra. Vegetative propagation in different types of plant, including Bryophyllum, rose. So this is all about of asexual reproduction, which we already explained, and now next thing we will discuss about the sexual reproduction. Thank you for watching.